Invincible nerds.
Thank you for joining us in our two-bedroom condo in the Enterprise. I'm Ethan.
I'm Francisco.
And we are Invincible Nerds.
Now we're starting off with our Marvel section. First up is Avengers issue number 19. In issue number 19, kind of like the aftermath of Fear Itself choosing the team. One of the artwork is just really weak. It's kind of like just splattered onto the page.
It almost looks painted.
There's no outline, so it's kind of weird. Just colors.
Yeah, and the colors are a bit off. They kind of look dull a little bit.
And yeah, this is not doing it. And like the stories, I get it. It's kind of going nowhere right now. But the artwork is just not doing it.
Yeah, it's not helping it anyway. And
then the inclusion of Vision, not doing it. Like, Vision is probably one of the least favorite characters out there. I mean, I've never seen anyone go like, yeah, dude, are you reading Vision right now?
Yeah, I guess they wanted to include Vision to kind of add some kind of...
shake things up.
Yeah, either shake things up or get more readers, but Vision over Black Panther, because they approach Black Panther and Black Panther denies membership into the Avengers, but they freak out over Vision, which I don't get. I would love to see Black Panther in the Avengers instead.
However, we do get Aurora, Storm.
Yeah, which...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm down with Storm.
I like the little moment that Wolverine and Storm has, like, so, you're on the team now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Pretty much.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it was
overall, I mean, it's just like I guess like kind of like a bridge to the next story where they fight Osborn and his new Dark Avengers, which you kind of already know our opinions on that. Which
Osborn, he comes in at the end and just demanding a trial.
Yeah,
he got wronged. Like this dude, really.
Yeah, like it really blows my mind that I'm just supposed to like. I mean, it's hard enough to believe that a bunch of D-lister villains are going to be able to take on the Avengers. But okay, let's push that aside for a second. I find it even harder to believe that a man who was a like almost dictator of the free world started his first Dark Avengers, start a war with Asgard, and he left like the whole place in ruin, and it was broadcasted. I mean, he openly manhunted Tony Stark, and now he's demanding a fair trial?
Not doing it.
I mean, yeah, whatever on that, so...
So definitely this issue was... The high point for me was Storm. That's about it.
Yeah, other than that, it's just kind of...
Definitely, until we find out where it's going, unless it's a good payoff, to me, I don't really think it's going that way. I give it a 7.
Yeah, I give it a 6.5. Alright, Captain Kirk has provided us with some lovely new pillows, and we're going to move on to Captain America issue number 4. And personally, I thought this issue was awesome. It had some really stellar artwork. Very, very detailed, kind of dynamic, really complemented the action sequences. And I mean, I thought that was kind of like one of the better things of the issue.
It's good that they're going out of the norm. They're taking him away from the common new era kind of stuff. Tie into his World War II days. So that's pretty good to see. Definitely out of the norm.
Yeah, I like that Steve Rogers kind of like subjected to this like almost like limbo dream world right now where his villain is able to like kind of warp the reality of the dream world around him, almost like Inception style. And I mean, personally, I think it's really cool. Just I mean, to throw Captain America into like a plane that he's not familiar with, and he's actually struggling to like kind of cope with. Personally, I thought it was cool. I mean, who wants to see the hero of the story battle the same old blah 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 in the same place again? You know.
I thought it was really cool is how he had to watch his dream utopia just crumble to the ground.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty stellar moment.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the only thing that was maybe, if you could say, somewhat of a like downfall. I mean, I can't even say that. It's just it is somewhat of a filler issue, but I mean, to me, I liked it. I mean, it progressed the story, and it kept me very interested and invested enough to, and I just want to read number 5 now.
So, for me, I think I have to give it a 6.5.
See, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Now we're moving on to Spider-Man issue number 674. We are now entered the aftermath of Spider Island, and you can still see it lingering. Police officers still trying to control the crowd. Everyone just coming to New York hoping to,
get the spider powers,
but that's not going to happen. And, The artwork is pretty good. Not like I liked it in Spider Island, but it's still good.
Yeah.
It definitely helps the story.
I mean, the quality is very consistent, and I like that they're. I mean, Spider Island's over, like it's over and it's done, but like the the effects linger just enough to like progress the story in like a natural way.
Yeah, definitely. Introduction of the new villain is out of the norm. I mean, you can see some old ones, and the inclusion of some you don't usually see. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the reveal of the bad guy in this story arc, I really liked it. It brought like a new, I would say an old villain and kind of like a different spotlight. So what I do, like, what I'm going to go ahead and point out is what I really like about this particular issue is that you can tell that Dan Slott has planned out these Spider-Man stories like very thoroughly, because you can see teasers and like little like sprinklings of like hints to future storylines. Like I mean, in this case, like Hobgoblin,
Working
Kingpin.
with the Kingpin, yes.
Yeah, and I mean he's said these things before, but to see them like kind of come back, it only makes me believe that after what Spider-Man's dealing with now, it's only gonna kind of progress towards this alliance that he's gonna fight against. So
I like that on this issue, I like the action was adequate. I mean, finally seeing Spider-Man with his spider powers. He even says it himself. He loves having his spider senses back.
Yeah.
Which is definitely one of the good things. Another good thing, Carly, he's kind of found some sort of a common ground with her.
Yeah, they didn't.
So it's not just like totally Splitsville with them.
Yeah, I mean, I like that, because they live in the same world, they're going to run into each other, and the fact that they're adult enough to find common ground, and,
and the fact that they have lifestyles where them meeting up is bound to happen at some point. So I think they realize that, so like, we got to do something. It just cannot be awkward all the time.
Yeah, so, I mean, overall, it was a very good issue, and I personally, I thought it was really awesome. I'm going to give it a 7.
I give it an 8.5. It's really good.
Alright, and we're going to wrap up the Marvel section with Venom issue number 9. And in this issue, basically it's just like an epilogue of Spider Island. We had one for Spider-Man, now it's Venom's turn. And he's sort of dealing with things in a completely different way. Venom did not have a good time during Spider Island, and actually,
he had his hands full.
And whatever he was struggling with internally, kind of comes out in the open even more so.
The symbiotes just feed off emotion. Incredible, man. So his inner struggle already in his personal life, it just gets amplified and just gets transmitted onto whatever he's dealing with, and this is definitely a really graphic issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really unsettling moments, especially the tank scene in the streets was particularly hard to stomach. But I will say the one good thing about certain scenes like that, now that the moments where he allows the symbiote to take complete control, and him dealing with it afterward instead of just doing something bad and then saying, oh, he deserved it, I'll just live with it. I mean, he's a good person inside. So
it's more of the symbiote kind of choosing, we're going to do this now. And what I like about it's not action. It's brutal, yes, and violent, of course. There's plenty of blood in it. It doesn't really feel as more of action, but it actually feels like story. It doesn't feel like... It just feels like action, but more story-like.
Yeah, I mean, I particularly like that he is trying to not become a monster, but after he allows himself to become emotional and do things like he does in this issue, to see the fallout and of what happens and him trying to struggle with it internally is kind of what the selling point of this whole comic. So I mean, I will say the one nitpicky thing, this is very nitpicky and it's probably just me personally, but some of the caption boxes are a little short and choppy, and I understand that it's he's struggling, he's trying to get somewhere, he's trying to do something, but I mean they're very short and choppy, and sometimes it's a bit distracting on my end at least. So, but
I could get that, yeah.
I mean, all that aside, I mean, solid issue, and I mean I'd give it an 8.5.
I'd give it an 8.5. We're starting our DC section with Catwoman, issue number 3. Catwoman is one of the, I think, in my opinion, different of the New 52. The artwork is different, and story is, I don't really know where it's going right now, but I'm liking it. And she's kind of have this, she's having fun, just going around Gotham, getting what she wants, never really paying any price for it. It catches up with her in issue number 3, and it's definitely an emotional issue. Her very good friend is now, spoiler alert, dead. So she has that to deal with, and she can try to put it off and just beat up as many people she wants, but in the end, it is her fault, and she does go out looking for vengeance, and it's Batman that kind of pulls her back. But it's Batwoman and messed up there. Catwoman and Batman, so they're gonna be toying around back and forth. So definitely it's good intrusion of a Batman into the story, but I'm liking it so far, and I give it an 8. Now moving on to issue of Nightwing, number 3. In this issue of Nightwing, the action is taking kind of like a downturn. On the other hand, the story is definitely going up. Quality of story is amazing. At the beginning, there's an emotional tie-in that sets the mood for the entire issue, and it does not get bad. It just gets better and better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they switched the action with the story, and though there is an action sequence, it focuses more on his past. Like, I believe they describe it as like the guy's using like a certain frequency that's causing like dementia, illusions, whatever. Sorry, and
it's bringing all all those repressed memories that he had. Not really repressed, he just forgot them, and he just moved on from that. But either way being, it's just made him just so much better.
Yeah, I will say they kind of took like the Batgirl route where they're now focusing on kind of like the past and like kind of the traumas that he experienced and the ones that he's facing now. And because of that and the fact that they're teasing a possible team up with Batgirl, like the correlations or
the crossovers of the story really make it that much better.
Yeah, the crossovers and the correlations between the two really kind of build it up. And I mean, honestly, even though it's not high in action, who cares, because the story was really good in this issue. I mean, if you're not reading Nightwing, you really need to, because it's amazing.
It's definitely one of our top picks for the 52, and every issue so far has been promising, and it's just, I have not picked up issue of Nightwing and been disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I think I'm going to give Nightwing a 9.
I think I'm going to...
And action. Alright, we're moving on to our top picks for the week, and the first top pick is going to be Batman issue number 3. And this one sort of picks up where the last one left off. Bruce Wayne's trying to figure out more about the Court of Owls and the Talon that attacked him last issue. And it's him kind of going around and eventually uncovering like secret areas and new mythos about Gotham City.
Definitely something, it's been covered up for a long time. It's been under wraps. It's been present in Gotham, but their hand has just been disguised. So definitely a new route that they're going for Batman. So new territories to be discovered. I know you like the scene with the gangs that are using the underground tunnels in Gotham.
Yeah, one of the kind of standout moments for me at least is Batman in kind of like this huge gang battle. He's describing the initiation for these gang members, like he's saying how these gang members are using underground tunnels, and each different tunnels for a different gang, like Yakuza, whatever. But this one in particular, they're kind of like the most dangerous, and he's explaining why. And they have these iron masks, and they actually get trained in like hand-to-hand combat for a year before they even like sent to the States to like I guess secure interests. And as he's like giving out their entire backstory, he's beating the crap out of them. No words, no one-liners, literally just telling everything he knows about them as he's punching their faces in. And that was awesome. I mean, that's Batman right there.
Definitely, this new group is really pushing Batman. Even though they're targeting Bruce Wayne, it's taking its toll on Batman. And in both ways, really, it's just pushing him. He's pushing back, but one of them has to give. And one thing I did have with this issue, I mean, I get it, superheroes have their days, but during his investigation of an area that Batman wasn't aware of, he trips a wire. To me, Batman tripping a wire, that's a little too hard for me to buy. I know it's weird and it's definitely nitpicky, but I just can't see Batman tripping a wire anywhere.
See, I have the counterpoint to that. I mean, Batman's uncovering this new, undiscovered up until recently society that's been kind of like having like in the shadows and manipulating Gotham for like generations. And he's going and he's discovering like their different safe houses that they've had over the decades. And he gets to the most recent one. And I mean, at this point, he's in uncharted territory. I mean, he doesn't know what to expect, and he doesn't even know anything about these people. So, I mean, for Bruce Wayne to be able to counter anything, usually he has as much research as possible on something, and he has his databases and everything. But because he's in a different location and it's unfamiliar, him tripping the wire didn't bother me at all. In fact, I thought it was a little interesting twist to just show that Batman is not. Batman knows everything, but Batman in this case is unaware. So I mean, I thought it was a nice twist.
It's thing, like I said, nitpicky. Nonetheless, good issue.
Oh, it was a fantastic issue. I mean,
it was just flat out amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're not reading it, why?
Shame on you.
Yeah, seriously. You need to pick this up because Batman is great. So I mean, for me, I'm gonna give it a 10. I loved it.
I'll give it a 9. We take it to the last top pick in our last review for this video, and it brings us to Justice League, issue number 3. Issue number 3 was definitely an action-packed issue.
To say the least.
To say the least. This issue was just amazing. Where the past few have had their action, but being generally a little bit more story, this one was just throwing it out there, and it was amazing. The artwork, Jim Lee is doing an amazing job.
Oh yeah, he's killing it.
So is Jeff Johns. And I mean, when it's a good writing issue, then definitely the writer gets credit for much. There's definitely good writing in this issue. But Jim Lee just served it up on a silver platter. There's that scene where Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman are all fighting. And the minute I turned the page and saw that, it was amazing. It was like looking at the Holy Grail.
Oh yeah, I mean, what I liked about this, because they're kind of establishing like the past formation of the Justice League, everyone gets their moment to shine. Green Lantern making like an insane construct, Superman throwing a tire and taking off a bunch of arms, even Wonder Woman, who in the past and like at least to us seems sort of like, even though she's an A-lister, she's still kind of struck low on everyone's radar.
There's no spotlight on her. However, this issue, I mean, there's so much shine on her.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
she almost steals the show single-handedly. I mean, whenever she jumps into the fray out of nowhere with a sword, de-limbing one of the enemies, helping out everybody, straight up kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, no, I mean, Wonder Woman really takes the cake this year.
Definitely one of my favorite moments has to be when Green Lantern and Flash kind of like look at Wonder Woman and Flash goes, whoa, and Hal Jordan goes, dibs. Definitely a cool moment for me. But even more cool is Superman kind of looking over at her going, you're strong. And Wonder Woman just goes, I know.
Yeah, I mean...
That was pretty hot.
I mean, nice.
It was cool.
I mean, I like the inclusion of Wonder Woman. I will say one of the things that bothered me a little bit, not enough for me to get mad or upset, just a little small, bothersome thing, was the fact that at this point Cyborg is still like incapacitated. He's not in the group yet. I mean, I understand, but I really want to see what Cyborg's like, just only because Jeff Johns said that Justice League will prove why Cyborg is like the superhero, and for him to still be kind of like out of commission at this point, we get
to see his beginnings in this issue, so that was pretty cool. We saw what happened to him in the last issue. We saw how he's gonna be put together, so definitely really cool.
And one of the big highlights of the issue, aside from Wonder Woman basically stealing the show, would be the cliffhanger. Spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to know. Aquaman coming in as a total badass. I mean, he's a badass in his own series, but I mean, whenever he's finally introduced, he kind of makes everyone look like chumps.
I mean, I think it was probably 3, maybe 4. I think it was 3 pages where it's just Aquaman, or just, well, not even Zenith, just like, heading towards his arrival. and it packs a punch. And when he finally just shows up, he just has a cool stance. His like, can't really say one line. It's more like a fragmented sentence, but so just full of power.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
definitely just turned into a badass hero.
Yeah, I mean, I like that Aquaman finally joined. He had, like, you know, one of the cool moments in the issue, but just the fact that he throws the thing out of the water, like, kills it with the trident, makes this ridiculous, awesome entrance, and then just as he's standing over the body and like the cool pose, he's just like, hey, who's the leader? I call me. Like, you know, he's like, I vote on me. That.
He's kind of just. Oh, these things are underwater too, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I liked was that they made him seem like what Superman is. He's like this cocky, arrogant, powerful hero who's been kind of unchecked for a while, so he's very full of himself. But I will say, it kind of sucks when that happens to Green Lantern, and that's the only thing that dragged the issue down for me, aside from the little nitpicky cyborg thing I was talking about, was just that Green Lantern still acts kind of like the jock, you know, and I don't really like it. I mean, I like that it's, you know, its origins, they're, you know, all the powers have been unchecked and they're finally coming together as a team, but Green Lantern is such a douchebag to everybody. Like, I thought at least Hal Jordan, after getting the ring, like, his whole thing was that he learned responsibility and how to control and use his...
So just wrap it up in a little bit.
Okay, where did I leave off?
It was, got his ring back and he learned responsibility.
Okay.
And action.
Alright, and with Green Lantern, I mean, he's acting like kind of a douche, and though, I mean, I understand that, you know, he's supposed to be this, like, unchecked superhero at this point, it does bother me that even though he has the Green Lantern ring, and he should have learned, like, responsibility and how to use his powers, he's still way too arrogant for the rest of them.
This issue really blew my mind away, and I'd give it a 10.
I'd give it... Okay. Alright, and that wraps things up for this week, so give us some feedback, comment on our videos, send us an email.
Let us know what you think of us.
Yeah, send us an email. Email is ethan@celstudios.com, dash between CEL and studios. Visit our website, invinciblenerds.celstudios.com, dash between CEL and studios. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Tell us if there's a particular comic that you want us to review. Maybe you want us to review your comic. Send it to us, whatever. And until next week, I'm Ethan.
I'm Francisco.
Warp speed, Mr. Sulu.